last episode, each of us saw something quite strange down in that cave.
Br'aad, you see Obnox Shy standing in front of you on the other side of the walkway. Sylnan, you see Catherine. Mountain, you see a male and female dwarf you've never seen before.
And we gained some powerful new tools.
You see a small marble statue of an elephant. You see a long sword. You now have flame tongue. Velrissa, stepping forward, you see a small lantern hovering on the pedestal.
My father is defeated and Ungaro is weak, but as for where we'll go next, well, we'll just have to roll with it.
You guys have found yourselves. You're standing in a small meadow right outside of Laurenburg with your newly found items, newly found information, and really no certain objective you can think of in your mind. Maybe some of you selectively have your own idea of what's next or what you want to do next, but there is no group effort here. Ungaro has been at least suppressed for the time being. Brendan silenced. The Blue Orc silenced. It was a rough journey. You've gotten your ally back. Sylnan is back. He still seems a little unwell, a little shaken. His mood has been off the entire time. You can easily see it in his face. But he's alive, he's here, and you're all back together, and that's what matters the most. Right now, what does everybody want to do?
Taxi's still laying on the grass, looking up at the sky.
Same with Sylnan. We out here laying on grass, boys.
As you look up at the sky, it's a very pretty blue today. Very select clouds. Few birds pass by, chirping as they fly off the nearby trees from the forest directly behind you guys as you lay there looking up. Everything seems peaceful. It's refreshing to just relax, enjoy this beautiful green nature. There's less worries, less weight on your shoulders, and everything just kind of feels like it's moving in the right direction for once.
So, what do we do now?
Drink.
I like your style. I point at Mountain.
Are you okay? Mounts that little horse there. Is he okay?
Yeah, I just had to clear my throat.
He was like, drink. It just sounded like you were dying.
I am dying.
He said it while
Oh, yeah, you're right,
chugging
sorry.
alcohol, dude. That's what it is.
He was chugging alcohol and said drink. Just alcohol pouring out of his mouth.
All right, Br'aad is gonna try out this wand of wonder. So
Taxi sits up.
Okay.
Is everybody all right?
As Br'aad points the wand of wonder at you.
you're not
all right.
bitch. Okay,
If this is happening, I'm all right with it.
Now, what's around me? What's around me? And also, what does this wand look like?
So the wand.
Does my lantern kind of look like it
So,
does?
well,
in
it is-
the picture? The first
Google
art
Dragon
poster?
Dildo.
Yes.
It's the third
Except-
one on Google.
Yeah. The way that's the poster is what yours
Dragon
looks like.
dildo
You'll know it when you
on
see
Google.
it.
Br'aad, you looking at the wand. It is neatly decorated in these ornate rainbow-like gems. Lots of greens, lots of blues, and especially a lot of pink. The actual rod of the wand itself, the actual handle, and then the upper stick of it
The
are
shaft.
the shaft, if you will. Where you would grab for a handle, there is a small bit of what seems like a sort of cast iron or a dark metal that you hold against, and then the rest of it is made of a very deep mahogany that has these rainbow-like gems embedded into it. The end of it twists almost like a knot of a tree or a tree branch, and then it ends on a small point that has one more gem on the very end of it, that this one is actually chromatic in color. The way you move it through the light, you can see all the different colors of the rainbow in it as you twist it around with your wrist.
I was originally going to cast a spell, but now Br'aad is just like, wow, look at this. And then, are there any, like, rabbits or anything nearby?
1 second.
Ooh, we got to eat, dude.
Taxi isn't gonna like that.
Taxi can't speak with animals. Run.
Okay, so are you expecting a charge to do a certain spell or the random spell?
I thought you could only do random.
I think you have a few that are on there that you can just do. Let me check.
No, it's random.
Is it all purely random?
Yeah,
No, let
I
me
have to
double
roll a
check.
D100.
Yeah, okay. I'll roll the D100 for you.
That's more fun.
That is fun.
because
I like
that's
that.
extreme random.
I
All
like
right,
that
so
a lot.
what are you aiming at? You're looking around your area. As I said, right to your guys' it would be your forward, Br'aad, to what seems like this south of the island. You look that direction. There is a forest very close, probably about no more than 110 feet maybe away from you guys. You know, it's very close to the meadow you're currently standing in. Looking around, there are no nearby animals, but you see in the distance there are a few farms, but a sort of ache in your body tells you that you don't want to go anywhere near some farmland anytime soon.
Yes.
But looking around, there are trees, there's the grass. Make a perception check.
Okay. 12.
12. You actually do see on one of the blades of grass in the meadow, as you look over, it's slightly wilting, and you notice that the small weight of a grasshopper sitting on the tip of it is what's causing it to bend.
You will do. Then I, bibbity bobbity moose, turn this grasshopper into a goose.
Okay, so you point the wand at the grasshopper, and as you do, you feel the energy start to course through the shaft of the wand. All the gems begin to glow, and you actually can feel the radiant energy warming off of them, actually heating up the wand a bit. It makes it kind of hot to the touch.
Ah, yes, all according to plan.
Sylnan just kind of sits up and looks towards Br'aad.
As
what do you do?
As you do, you start to feel more heat emerge from the wand, and to your sudden shock, a large fireball erupts from the tip of the wand.
Velrissa jumps back in shock as the fireball leaves the wand.
I'm going to need Velrissa and Mountain to make a dexterity saving throw. As the fireball goes streaking into, and it's about a 20-foot wide fireball that fires out of this wand.
13 minus 2.
Man.
11.
Nice.
I got a 6.
All right.
Oh, good. You both nailed.
Abracadabra, Alica.
No.
Okay, so this cast at default level. Let me double check. I do believe it does. Yeah, it does. So it doesn't do any additional damage. Thank God.
8d6. Holy fuck.
Guys,
Starting off Arc 2 by killing our teammate.
this is
Please,
not.
by fucking
This is no bueno.
Team killing the healer and fucking Mountain.
Oh my God. Okay.
Oh no.
Are you rolling the damage too, Jared? No.
What do you mean?
Show mercy.
It's random. Also, I have a lot of d6. This makes it go a lot faster. Okay, 6.
Holy shit, I'm going to die.
How much health do you have?
I'm at 26.
No, we long.
Oh
rested,
yeah. Okay.
didn't
You guys long rested. Yes.
Oh, we long rested?
Well.
No, I'm down to like -2.
Well,
We leveled
you,
up and shit.
you guys
We
leveled
long
up.
rested before that fight.
Oh,
where
right.
Velrissa
Yeah, before
got
the
down.
fight.
Yeah.
Velrissa got. Oh yeah, that's
Yeah,
right.
yeah,
So
yeah.
Velrissa is still weak. You have not rested. That is true.
Wait, I thought we came out of the God
I thought after
thing
the God
Yeah.
thing it was a long rest.
Yeah.
Oh wait, no,
Well,
yeah, you did. You came out feeling
Yeah,
rested.
we're-
That's true.
Yeah.
Okay, that's
Except you're
that's
still gonna
okay.
take a fucking massive blow.
Yeah, you're.
But I won't
yeah.
be at 26
You
HP.
both still take 29 points of fire damage.
Holy
I would have
fucking
been
shit. Oh, damn it.
unconscious.
So yeah, fucking Sylnan kind of sits up and he's like, "Br'aad, what are you saying?
As it streaks across the explosion, sending you both kind of flying to the left and right. You can feel the char burn against your skin and singe some hairs. The meadow itself also begins to catch on fire. And
What the fuck is your problem?
it is spreading
I
rapidly.
fucking
I didn't.
I
I
start screaming.
didn't think it would do that. Okay,
Guys, we just.
I'm gonna
Sylnan, I need you to
I'm gonna
hold
look-
on to this, and I give him the wand
have
for
my
now.
arm hairs.
What am I supposed to do?
I don't know, but don't and nothing.
Velrissa grabs the wand out of Sylnan's hand.
Taxi rushes over to the meadow that's on fire and immediately tries to put it out.
I start trying to put it out
Hound
too.
gets up and goes over
This
and
is
grabs Br'aad
about
by
a
the
20
shirt.
foot Actually, a bit
Where did
more
the
than that. There's
fireball
probably about
stop? Did it just keep rolling?
No, it landed. He aimed it at a fucking grasshopper in the grass. So it
Wait,
just.
did he hit the grasshopper? Did he hit the grasshopper?
Yes.
Did I get Jared? DM. Did I get the grasshopper?
You did, but it also slammed hard,
get
making
the
a
kill?
fiery explosion in this tall grassed meadow, sending about a 30 to 40 foot eruption of fire already catching across the meadow.
Oh man, remember when it was a peaceful day and everything wasn't on fire?
The smoke immediately begins to bellow up into the sky, and you can already hear screaming coming from the nearby town
Oh my god.
as they look over and
Guys,
see
what do we
the
do?
wildfire.
New day, new me, but it's still. Oh, fuck.
I'd lift Br'aad up just a little bit, and I'm like, "What the fuck is your
I
problem?"
have no idea what I just did.
Taxi, do a rain dance or something.
I can't just produce rain.
Why not?
What do we do about this?
We can. Do we isolate? We isolate the
We
fire.
run. We run. We get the fuck out of here.
Guys,
we
maybe
didn't-
maybe if we use the wand again, it'll go.
That is an awful idea.
Absolutely not. You are not touching this wand.
That's fair.
I throw Br'aad to the ground.
The fire is still spreading
Okay.
quite rapidly. It's now at about a 60 to 70 foot radius.
Guys, we leave. We run as fast as we can
We
and
have
get
to-
away from here.
Guys, we have to go.
It's spreading not only towards the forest, but also towards the nearby village.
We have to warn them. There's a forest fire.
I'm sure.
I've
I'm
never
sure they
seen a
see the
fire before. What is this? I don't know, but it's heading towards that village. We better let them know.
You can also, at this point, you can see some commoners starting to run towards the well with wooden buckets in hand. Lots of frantic people grabbing
Okay,
people
I
grabbing
run-
children.
I run
I run towards the
them, too.
village and start grabbing buckets and
Yeah, I do the
water as
same.
well.
Okay, I'm gonna have both of you just make a general athletics check.
Okay,
Ooh, that's a 10.
10. Okay.
that's a 12.
12. Okay, you both. I mean, you move about your speed. You try to rush as fast as you can to be able to grab the bucket, dip it into the well, roll it down as fast as possible, roll it back up with a full water, and start running back. You're moving at about the average pace as one of the commoners. So you are participating and helping while this is happening, running back towards the fire, kind of trying to take it out as it's spreading, but it is spreading quite rapidly.
I'm just gonna be like, come on, guys, let's help them, I guess. Fuck.
All right.
And I'm gonna start running over there too.
All right. What's everybody else doing?
I start lightly strolling over there and drinking out of my flask.
Okay.
Oh no.
Taxi, what are you doing?
That may have been the worst possible outcome.
Oh no, it was. I was like, ooh, a 73. Wonder what that is.
Fireball.
Taxi and Mountain. Mountain, you said you're strolling towards the well. Taxi, what are you doing?
Taxi doesn't have any wind spells prepared, so he will panic and dig his fingers into the ground and cast Druid Craft and see if it does anything.
Let me see here what we can do here. Let's create more wildlife to catch on fire real quick. Let's create some vines to also catch. See what we can do.
Spread that wildfire quicker. Let's go.
Guys,
He's
this is not good.
yeah. I don't know what it would do. He's not trying to create.
Yeah, I don't really know what that would do. We see because he Druid Craft.
You could say wind, maybe. And roll for it, and it could spread it or something.
Well, that's
I
can
can't
create
just fucking create wind without having a wind spell, and I didn't prepare.
Yeah,
a
he can
spell.
create-
That's what Druidcraft
Oh, and
does.
he can create small bits of wind. He can create enough to light or snuff. He can light or snuff a candle, a torch, or a small campfire, or he can make sensory effects. I
All
don't.
a forest fire is
It's a lot of
just a
candles.
bunch
It's just a
of
big
little
candle.
candles.
It's just a. I'm gonna
Just
say
all put
Druidcraft
together.
probably really wouldn't do much in this situation. It's just from how wild the fire is. It's not controlled.
Mountain starts punching the fire.
Taxi starts blowing it.
Yeah, I really don't know what you guys can do in this situation.
I honestly think running is the best option. We weren't here.
We're gonna kill but Velrissa can't kill the whole village.
That was,
Yeah, no, you
that
guys.
wasn't you. That was Br'aad.
What I'm saying is this fire is spreading rapidly, and it's heading towards not only a forest but also a village.
There's a well with buckets.
There's a well with a lot of buckets. People have literally come out of their houses, like piling their buckets out near the well, and they're like grabbing it and like they're basically like as fast as they can, putting it down and pulling it back up, grabbing the water and running over and trying what they can.
Okay.
There's
Taxi will
go
double
ahead.
his speed and he'll dash to get the bucket, fill it up with water, and come back and do that repeatedly. over and over. And
repeatedly.
over.
Okay, I'm gonna say make a general dexterity check while you're
What
doing
about
this.
Sylnan? He's running there too.
Yeah, make a athletics check for you.
Okay,
That's a natural
I got
20.
19.
Nat. Okay, both
Nat
of you.
20, yeah.
Sylnan with you start running over. You're grabbing buckets as you literally aren't even like using the rope of the well. You're scaling down, pulling like filling up the bucket and then scaling back up the well as fast as you possibly can.
Fuck me.
Taxi, you do the same. You're running down, grabbing buckets in both hands, doing it, pulling them through. It's helping, but the fire is not fully controlled yet. It is, however, it's starting to snuff out the sides and sort of suppressing how fast it's spreading.
I'll keep doing.
I'm not grabbing any
I'll
fucking
keep doing that,
buckets.
but like, is there anything Taxi can do to like swap out one spell slot at a cost, or is one spell?
I would say no. That's not generally a thing you can do. And you
Alright,
could,
well,
there are other things you could do. Maybe that might give you chance, but that's definitely not one of them.
Is there anyone in the town that, or like these commoners around us that aren't throwing buckets or like throwing water buckets on?
There's people who are grabbing their children or like grabbing their belongings, and they're starting to head out of the town.
Oh. Okay. I'm gonna run over to those people. I'm gonna run over to these people. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Put your kids down. You don't need them. We can still save the town. Go ahead. Grab these buckets instead. They're like children, but they're hollow and hold water and can stop this fire.
Make a persuasion check.
Jesus.
Oh.
Oh.
It's okay, guys. I get to add things to it.
Okay, I have
17?
17?
17.
17. Few of them, like the ones who just have their belongings, some of them are like kind of they put their stuff down near the road, like on the side, away from the fire as far as possible from their general area, and then they start growing and grabbing buckets, kind of being inspired by your speech. Some of the women still hold their children, and they keep heading out, putting the safety of their children over like their households or anything like that, and they start still evacuating. But some of the people do stop and put down some of their belongings, or some of them who have like maybe older kids, the kids with the grab buckets as well, and help. But it's not all of them, it's just a small portion of them. But it does help. It does help.
Okay, that's good.
Is it possible for me to like use my mage hand to help with grabbing buckets?
Let's find out. This is a great situation to just drop everybody into in the first fucking arc.
Yeah,
first episode of the arc.
Things were supposed to be different,
I
man.
have a really awful idea.
Oh no.
I don't like the way you said that.
No, it'll work. It'll work.
Taxi will pick up 2 buckets.
I will say the mage hand can
Fire
help
is
as well.
gone now because of you. Thank you.
It can help.
It can help as well.
Thanks,
It'll begin to help. Like
Sorry.
it'll grab a bucket and it'll float down and be able to scoop it up and pull it out of the well and come with you, sort of assisting with this with another bucket. So that will also.
I will do the same with Mage Hand then.
Okay.
Where's Hilltree in all this? How's he reacting?
He is cowering behind the well, kind of just like his legs shaking like to the point where his knees almost hit each other as he kind of just like cowering behind the well.
Nice.
Hilltree, there's been a horrible accident and a fire is quickly spreading towards this town. Listen, be courageous, like me, and save these people here. And I give him a bucket of water.
He goes, now.
While running back and forth, Taxi will start panically asking nature to give him rain.
You spinning around doing a really like improv rain dance.
Give me rain.
No.
Give me rain.
No, while he's running back and forth, he's like, please,
No,
please let there be
please.
rain.
I was gonna sit down and watch the fire, kick back a little bit.
Okay.
Oh my god.
Help us!
I don't even pay in mind.
Wow. Mountain.
There's actually something interesting that one of you have that could actually assist.
I'm gonna throw my smoke grenade at it.
I have an idea, but I don't think it'll work.
Taxi throws an ice knife at the fire.
I'm gonna throw my oil flask at it.
I'm gonna cast fear on the fire so it's scared and goes away.
Mountain, throw
Okay, fuck
alcohol
all
at
these
it.
guys. I actually am gonna throw an ice knife at the fire.
The ice knife just melts on contact.
Fuck!
Okay.
Fuck!
Would
I
it-
mean,
I pull everything out of my bag. I looked at a tinder box a little longer than I should have, and then I keep going.
Okay, would the darkness spell snuff the flame?
Darkness would not snuff a flame, no.
Question.
Wait, what's-
Out of curiosity, can an elephant stomp out a forest fire?
No, but an elephant can help in a different way.
Oh, the water.
With the
Oh
trunk!
my god! Fucking Taxi clicks in his head! And he pulls out a fucking marble elephant and throws it into the air!
What is that?
He's like, Persona!
What the fuck? As the figurine hits the ground, it does like a small spin on a blade of grass. As it flicks up into the air, it shines with a white radiant light, and then just emits from it this large elephant. As it slams on the ground, it blows out a mighty roar from its trunk and stomps its foot.
Whoa.
Holy shit.
Hey!
What the fuck is
Why,
that?
though? What is? I've never seen something like that.
You actually haven't.
It's like
You actually haven't.
Yeah, no.
it's like a large, 5-legged, hairless dog.
It has 4.
Yeah, I think its trunk's a leg.
Has Velrissa seen an elephant before or read about an elephant?
Maybe you might have read about them. But you definitely haven't seen one in real life before.
Okay.
Have
So-
I read about an elephant before?
No, you cannot read.
So you can't read.
Oh.
Oh man,
Oh, jeez.
this is a big leathery dog.
Taxi tells it to fill its trunk up with the water and start helping us.
Okay, so it heads over to the well, and its trunk can't fully reach down, but people start pulling out buckets, like assisting to fill its trunk as much as it can with the water from the buckets, and then it stomps over and it begins to spray it over as well, majorly helping with the fire.
All right, just keep doing that.
Is there any nearby pond or river I can see around the
Make a
town?
perception check.
Ooh, nat 1.
You are in too much of a state of panic watching this fire spread across the land to where you don't notice any bodies of water now. So, the elephant manages to accurately spray across the parts that are catching the most, and with the help of more commoners and the party alike, you guys manage to snuff the fire as it's only now burned both basically the entire meadow and then singed and charred parts of the nearby trees. It didn't reach the village, thankfully, but it caused quite a lot of damage and scarring to this part of the earth. But the fire does seem snuffed and suppressed to the point where it is no longer catching or spreading.
Whew.
Okay.
Hey.
Thank you for all your hard work, everyone. If we weren't here, I don't know what would have happened.
Br'aad.
Some of the commoners do drop their buckets and then clapping and cheering.
Don't
The mage hand
applaud
wipes
us.
sweat
A
off
few of them give
Velrissa's
scowls
forehead.
towards Br'aad.
Taxi sits down in the meadow and
No, the real hero is all of you.
begins casting druidcraft to see if he can bring any of the grass seeds or anything around back to life.
You walk around doing druidcraft on the burnt ground, and you do begin to see some of the grass sprouting back. Not all of it. There are still some spots where it seems to have singed down to the roots, charring through the earth. But you do see that you're starting to help nature retake its course and regrow where it once was. It does seem to help.
The rest will fix with time.
I'm gonna go over to Velrissa and Mountain with their fucking eyebrows now gone.
Your mount especially. Mountain's missing quite a lot of chest hair now.
No.
And there is quite a charring across his left shoulder down to his pec.
No wonder
Here's
he
a-
didn't help.
Can I have a smaller beard?
If you want it to hit your face, you're gonna have no beard. That was a 20-foot radius of a fireball. That bitch would have singed your entire face off.
Wait, guys. Does this give Velrissa her short hair?
Ooh.
Can we just have this be the
Yes.
canonical explanation for every character?
Dude, that is perfect. Okay, let's go with
but
that,
see,
dude. I love that.
I'm kind of thinking I want Mountain to have a goatee now.
It grows
Mountain
back.
Just loses the full beard into a fucking goatee.
So I will
Grows
say
back
then,
in 2
I will
days.
say then, a good portion of Velrissa, the back of her hair and the tips of Mountain's beard have been sort of charred, and they're black and starting to curl up. Y'all are gonna need a haircut.
Also, Velrissa's a man now.
Y'all are gonna need a haircut.
I am so sorry. I had no idea. I pointed it at a cockroach, and I thought I could. Like, it was a cockroach.
Taxi tells
What can I
the elephant
possibly
to hit
do?
him with his trunk.
I accept this punishment.
Are you sure?
Are you
Let me
sure?
one sec.
I will allow you to retcon that because that'll hit fucking hard. I'm going to
The
allow
trunk?
you to. Yes.
Mr.
The elephant's
Elephant,
OP, dude.
it's only fair.
Not like hit him, but just like knock him over with the trunk, not the feet or anything. Just like a little slap.
Okay.
I'm waiting for
He
it.
can
I'm
push
ready.
him with the trunk. I'm about to say, does the elephant hits hard?
Okay.
They're probably,
that's a big
they're probably
boy.
like a fucking like 2d8 plus 6.
Is this really the best way to handle this situation? I'll take it though. I'm not a bitch.
I'll just nudge over it at Br'aad and he'll push him over.
It's gonna bully me.
While Br'aad's on the ground, Velrissa casts thaumaturgy to make her eyes red, and gets over Br'aad.
I just said I'd do anything. Why is this happening?
Are we nerd circling Br'aad?
As this is happening, a familiar old man starts to stumble his way up towards you guys. You recognize him as the innkeeper. He stumbles up and he goes, "What you all did was great. I don't know what we would have done if you weren't here. That fire would have surely taken the village."
Fuck.
Yeah, it's a good thing we were here. Otherwise, yeah. That explosion was out of nowhere, man. Like,
It's crazy how
truly.
those things
could have
just
seen it
happen.
coming. Yeah.
Br'aad is just in the fetal position staring at Velrissa.
Am I interrupting
I look
something?
I look at the innkeeper.
Oh, no, it's fine.
All right.
Say, what time is it, Jared? Or time of day? Like, what's it look like?
Time of day? It hasn't hit afternoon yet. It's sometime probably about late in the day before afternoon, late in the morning.
Excuse me, sir. Are there any guards or anything in the town right now?
Gods, I mean, I'd assume so. I saw a few helping you fine folks.
Are there any from out of town?
Out.
Though.
There were earlier.
Oh, okay,
A few days ago, I do believe. One or two, maybe. Time escapes me nowadays.
Say, listen, wait a minute, I wouldn't know actually that you're the innkeeper. Never mind.
You wouldn't
I
know.
was dead.
He goes, but... Oh,
Sylnan, what are you talking to the innkeeper for?
but...
Oh, innkeeper, you say innkeeper. Do you happen to have rooms open?
I mean, especially for the likes of you assisted the
I
town.
mean, yes, we're a little light on coin right now, and I mean, we did save the town and
it'll
all, and we appreciate it.
it'll be for the night. You can have it for free. And on top of that, here,
thank you so much.
Velrissa's fed up. She yells out, "Absolutely not.
What are you talking
Absolutely
about,
not.
Velrissa? We saved the town.
You know what happened here.
I do not know what
You
happened
know
here.
exactly what happened." I stare at
Velrissa,
Br'aad.
she's a little crazy. I'm so sorry about her.
I look at the innkeeper and
know what
point. I
happened
point
to
at
your
I point at
Velrissa.
Br'aad. He was the one. He started the fire.
What are you
Don't give him
talking
the
about?
credit of being a hero.
Sylnan is sweating bullets. What are you talking about?
He could have killed your whole town.
Velrissa, make an intimidation check.
4 plus 3, 7.
7.
He said.
It was a valiant attempt, but Br'aad, you don't like it. It definitely put some shock, like a little bit of a jump in you, but you don't feel any sort of permanent frightenment towards Velrissa. But she definitely is very angry right now.
I choose to be afraid.
I choose to be afraid. That is very fair.
I'm
I will allow that.
willingly afraid.
I will allow that. But the innkeeper kind of looks at you with a very hard scowl, Br'aad. He goes, You caused the fire?
Oh, jeez.
Yep.
God damn it, Mountain.
I put my hand on
Fuck off, Sylnan.
Sylnan's shoulders, or on Sylnan's shoulder.
It was...
Someone's rubbing his
Yeah.
temples.
Yeah, it wasn't on purpose, but yes, it was me. And so I tried to do everything I could, but yes.
You are dangerous. I don't want you near our village ever again.
Oh, fuck.
Until you learn to control your magic, you need to stay far away from these kind folk.
I'm gonna stand up and walk over. Say, and who the hell are you to tell us where to be?
Listen, at the very least, can you tell us where, like, the nearest city or town is? I mean, I just want to sleep in a bed.
You can find, if you head, and he points towards the road that it winds actually back in the direction of the wharf, but it curves again up towards the northeast, past the farmlands. And he goes, if you follow that way, Shade Grove is just about a day's walk that direction.
Listen, sorry, what is your name?
You can call me Bathan.
Bathan, listen, I hope this covers the damages. It was really a pretty meadow. I know I'm just sort of rubbing salt in the wound. Okay, here you go. I give him a shard of the fucking rock that I broke off. Like the crystal, the expensivite that I think is expensive.
He goes, well, I'm not sure what this is, but I suppose it'll sell for something.
So I've heard from myself.
Don't worry about the meadow, Bathon. It'll grow back with time.
I would like to kindly ask you all to leave now.
Yep, couldn't expect it less.
Yep.
I understand.
I'll help Br'aad up from being in the fetal position.
Whatever.
Thank you.
Velrissa tucks his wand into her pouch
Confiscated.
and continues walking in the direction that he pointed to.
Oh, jeez.
Taxi hops
Guys.
up on his elephant.
Where do we even go? Like, what are we
Northeast,
What are we doing?
Sylnan.
Okay, yeah, but why?
Well, does anyone have anything? First of all, is there anything I can do for you two, Velrissa Mountain? I'm really sorry.
At this point as well,
Yes.
The innkeeper just kind of, he just turned his back to you guys and has his arms just behind his back, like staring at the village, just kind of ignoring you.
That's fair.
Br'aad, there's one thing you could do for me.
I prepare to get punched.
Just fuck off for like 15 minutes.
Damn, bro. Damn.
Damn.
Have I ever seen an elephant before this?
Damn.
Pretty sure I know what it is.
You probably know what they are, but you wouldn't have seen one in real life before. The elephant's still there, by the way. It's just standing there beside you
I know.
guys.
I said I hopped up on it.
Oh, you hopped up. Okay.
Br'aad is gonna
Velrissa
fuck off for the next
ignored-
14 minutes. His character can only change so much.
Velrissa completely ignored Br'aad when he asked that, and is thinking of a haircut.
Thinking about a haircut.
Your hair is pretty badly singed.
You know, if you want me to,
My fucking
if you want
beard,
me to,
man.
I can't take it seriously. I have a couple daggers left here. If you want me to give you a haircut, I have some experience in.
Taxi reaches out a hand. Come up here.
Br'aad comes up.
I mean, you probably need to reach up a trunk, because you can't just reach your hand down an elephant to reach someone.
Yeah, it's a pretty big fucking elephant.
The trunk will reach down and help Br'aad up.
Taxi will, yeah!
Yeah!
Alright, we should start going to the next town. We're going to need somewhere to stay.
Let's try not to blow it up.
Fair.
Suppose so.
If you guys want to talk, we can talk on the way there.
I'm good.
I'm gonna walk up the mountain. I'm gonna walk by mountain.
Okay.
We're doing this.
You walk by mountain.
Yeah,
I'll
let's
hold Sylnan's hand passionately.
I'm
I'm joking.
Swinging their arms fucking back and forth together.
Start skipping.
off the Shade Grove as we
I'm just gonna slip it in.
Oh.
I'm sorry, what?
Oh no.
Would you kindly reiterate?
Dude, I was helping with their roleplay. No worries.
I'm gonna look over to Sylnan and say, "Hey, what was it like being dead?"
Kind of peaceful. I don't know. I mean, my girlfriend was there the entire time, so that was kind of reassuring. But
Your girlfriend?
Weird. Yeah, no, my girlfriend. She's a goddess, I guess.
Isn't that a little fucking weird?
Yeah, I really don't know how to feel about it.
If it was so peaceful, why
Well,
do you even want to be back?
no, I do. It was a mix, right? Because there was a lot of nightmares, night terrors of sorts. Like the thing in my hand,
Oh, you mean the purple shit?
yeah, the purple shit. That's it, Mountain. Yeah, he kind of looks down at his left hand. Yeah, no, I think it's getting worse.
Well, I got an idea. We cut off the hand.
No,
Okay.
I use this hand a lot. Thank you. I'd prefer not to.
Yeah, I'm sure if your girlfriend's dead, you definitely use that hand a lot.
I'm right-handed.
No.
Guys, A+ character interaction.
And we'll just leave it there.
Yeah, that's it.
Br'aad. What should I name him?
Well, where did he come from? I just sort of turned around and then there was an elephant. Did you find him?
No, whatever happened to us before we exited the underground, he was given to me.
Oh, did you see, you saw old Ob too, huh?
Well, who?
Well, who gave you the elephant?
A goddess. Her name's Nula.
Oh, that's new information to me. I thought, I mean, shut up. That's not what I saw at all, but I mean,
I mentioned
cool.
her at the
It's an elephant.
at the tavern. Maybe it was the.
Sorry, my memory doesn't always work.
She's helped me.
So you want to?
Since I was a kid.
Yeah.
But who did you see? You said you saw somebody.
Yeah, I mean, he's a goddess too in his own way. Not really. He kind of sucks. He
can't be a goddess if he's a he.
Well, he's a.
Can
he's
he?
A, Is he? I
No,
don't
that-
even know if he's a he. He's a. He. So he's. It's a whole thing, man.
So he gave you something.
But
right?
I mean, he's the reason that I have these wonderful powers that I can light entire meadows and destroy whole communities with. Bless his heart. And so he gave me that wand that has now been confiscated now that I'm in timeout up on this elephant. Which is very fair. Taxi, do you ever feel like even with, you know, whatever powers and all these things and all these people helping you, you just can't seem to get it right?
I just asked him what I should name him.
We're getting too deep for this.
You know, speaking of elephants, I just feel like there's one weighing down on me all the time. Do you ever feel like that too?
Oh,
Like
no.
you're just being crushed by the weight of your own mistakes? Those nameless elephants worth of mistakes, just so many?
Nothing towards you guys, but yes, ever since I met you all, it was like that for a while.
What'd you do to clear it up?
Well, I guess I just tried really hard to do what was right. And you know, that was a good apology back there. It's alright to be honest sometimes. I think Velrissa had the right idea.
I'm working on it, but you know, I still did set a meadow on fire, so there's that.
Well, I don't know how you did that, and I don't think I want to know.
There was a cricket, and I tried to turn it into a goose taxi.
As this is happening, Go ahead and interrupt this interesting conversation. You guys, as you're still on this path, it's a very simple dirt, shoddily made path. It's winding around this small tree line to your right side. And as it is, you look off to the left of the elbow of the road and you see the first thing that catches your eyes would be an ancient, it's a very old banner. It seems like shoved into the ground is a pole that's sort of angled now, falling at a diagonal slant. The actual flag of the banner has been ripped and tattered with time. You look around, you see a few different small statues of mostly just like piles of rocks, no certain shape of them, just like rocks piled smaller on top of bigger. It seems like almost like a battlefield at one point, like there was a war or something fought here. As you look around and you see some sort of humanoid bodies that are laying across the ground. As you are moving closer off the road to get a better view. Well, not off the road, but you're still on the road, but as the road gets closer to it, I should say. You start to notice that the humanoid bodies aren't made of flesh. You see one of them especially, it's sitting up back first against one of the stones. It's made out of wood that is now starting to dry rot, with pieces of metal that sort of hold it together like bolts. This strange sort of atomic being, this metal man, is just laying there sort of limp, its head cocked to the side against the rock. And as you look across, you see several more of the same shaped wood and metal created being, eroded with time, just falling pieces of them, some of them missing arms and legs, heads, parts of the torsos, just strewn across this small area of land.
Velrissa casts Eyes of the Grave.
Eyes of the Grave.
Where are we?
You should name it Tube Dog.
Dude,
It looks like it's a big dog, and it looks like it has a big tube on its nose.
You don't know what an elephant is, bro.
What the fuck is an elephant?
This is an elephant.
This is a tube dog taxi.
I'm not gonna name it Tube
I've
Dog.
discovered a new species.
Okay, using Eyes of the Grave. Looking around, you don't feel, sense, or you don't see anything that's actually undead.
Okay.
Nothing here seems to still have any life within it. But as you do, as your eyes look across, you do notice that none of these things were human to begin with. The bodies made out of different materials of wood and metal, eroded, corrupted. Some of them are dented, like they've been punched or attacked with weapons several times. And there are a few skeletons as well, laying across the fray. It's hard to tell from this distance what they are skeletons of. Something humanoid for sure, but it's hard to tell what race.
Could I make out what these creatures could be? Like, do I possibly know?
You'd have to get closer for that. You guys are still on the road.
Okay.
It's kind of it just off the road, like off the path, about 30 feet off the road. Just a small area where these stones sort of create almost like a half arch of a design, and then it seems like the war was mostly fought within these sort of stone statues and towers.
Hey, Sylnan,
Yeah?
should we check those out?
No.
I really think that's a bad idea.
All right, it's a bad idea.
Yeah, no, I honestly just want to get into town and sleep. I don't care to know what happened here.
We have plenty of daylight here, and we have Tube Dog here with us.
Br'aad, we're not calling it
Tube
Tube
Dog?
He's a,
What are you laughing at, Mountain?
Nothing. It's funny.
Can you think of a better name?
No, I like Tube Dog.
Wait, is it named Tube Dog now? Is that
We're not calling it Tube Dog. It's my elephant.
It's Tube Dog Taxi.
Tube Dog?
Velrissa kind of whispers, Tube Dog's kind of funny.
Come on, bro.
I'm dying, dude.
Can
I
we?
had literally no intention of naming it Tube Dog. Why don't you ask him what he thinks?
Hilltree. Wait, you're right.
No,
I
Tube
can't
Dog.
speak with animals, and I ask him what his name is.
So you cast Speak with Animals onto the elephant, and what do you say?
I ask it if it has a preferred name.
I don't have name.
Would you like one?
I guess.
Do you have any ideas?
I whisper
No.
something into Taxi's ear.
Shall I call you Ugoth?
It's cute.
That sounds fine.
Cool. Do you prefer being a stone, like a marble stone, or do you like... How does this work, dude, if you know?
I do not know.
Alright. Well, thank you for all your help.
It has an intelligence of 3.
Well, Taxi didn't know that.
And I would be, because like speaking of animals, it also depends like how much it knows or like what it can say to you. Still depends on its intelligence. So I went to go check, and an elephant has an intelligence of 3. So I was like, yeah, this tanky thing really can't do much. It can still speak to you because that's just how the magic spell works, but it won't know shit. It's pretty damn dumb.
I thought fucking elephants had great memories.
It has a really good wisdom.
Okay.
I was gonna say it sounds really wise.
Let's say it has a good wisdom, but it has a really bad intelligence.
It's settled then. We'll call this elephant Ugoth, and he'll be one of us whenever he's available to help.
It's like he's always watching over us with a strong guiding presence. I'm sure whoever thought of that name was thinking of that.
I like it.
That's a good name, Br'aad. And I'll pat the elephant.
Okay.
Keep going.
I enjoy that.
You know how dogs have like their full name and then like a short name you call them by?
Call him Oogie.
If I throw out like a
Oog. Call him Oog.
I'm down with Oog. Alright,
you
Oog.
Hey, Yog.
Hey, you!
stop. Moving on. Let's move on.
Use attack the big kahuna, Oog!
You guys are just passing by this strange sort of leftover warfield.
I guess so.
I kind of want to see if there's anything cool.
Kind of
I say, in character, I kind of want to see if there's anything cool here. This is a pretty interesting place.
Br'aad, I asked you nicely to fuck off.
I checked.
It
the
has
clock.
been longer than 15 minutes. You don't have a... Wait, you have a clock? Sylnan has a clock. Did you take Sylnan's clock? Wait, who has the pocket watch?
I whip out my cock.
I have the pocket watch, but I mean
That you can't read.
I can't read it though because I'm too fucking stupid.
Okay. I look at the sun. It hurts. But I believe that 15 minutes have passed.
15 minutes have definitely passed. Way longer. It's probably been about 5 hours? 4 or 5 hours?
What?
Wow, he fucked off for 5 hours.
According to my
Incredible.
rough calculations, it may have been 15 minutes by now. I'm still sorry, but I mean, am I the only one that wants to do this? We can just move on if it's only me. I don't want to.
All right, let's go. Let's just go. No, we're going. Go.
Like going towards the
Go.
like go,
Yes.
Wait, which way?
I start walking towards the graveyard.
Okay.
All right, Mountain, as you step closer, looking around, you see many bones that have started to rot. The whiteness of them turning to a dark brown and chipping away from just time. I would say, just purely with your survival skill, you can tell that this has been quite some time. Like, you would guess probably well over 50, 60 years since something actually took place here.
Are there bones on the ground near me?
There are a few, yeah.
All right. I'm going to like step on the bone to just see like how brittle it is.
Oh, as soon as you step, it
kinda
cracks and turns to dust. Parts of it.
Get an estimate of how long it's been there.
It's definitely been there for a little over half a century, you'd guess. It's hard to tell exactly without a full examination, but it's definitely been longer than 50 years.
All right. What did you want to look at, Br'aad?
Are there any valuables?
I don't fucking know.
Or things that stand out. I didn't
Mountain?
say that. That was a weird voice to slip into for Br'aad.
Mountain?
I just
Mountain,
wanted to
make a perception
check.
Mountain, make a perception check.
7.
Nice.
7. As you glance around, you don't really see anything immediately that you can see that looks valuable, shiny, or still, But everything here seems pretty damn worn and torn. No, nothing here had any shelter from the elements. and everything here is definitely passed with time.
Do you see anything interesting?
Bones. More bones.
Yeah, there's a
This
lot of
stuff's
bones.
been here
yes.
for at least 50 years.
What I want to know though is what these things are, and he points at the wood and metal creatures.
Make an investigation check. Sylnan.
Investigation check. That is not very good. What is my investigation? That is a 2.
He is made out of wood and metal.
Guys, this guy's made out of wood and metal.
Guys, I got it.
I've never seen anything like this
Really,
before. This is crazy. Actually, no, that's a 0 technically because of my fucking resurrection sickness. Hell yeah.
Yeah, no, it's.
I
like
don't know
you
what this
fucking-
is.
Actually, as you look down at him, the light reflects off a piece of metal and it kind of like blinds you a little bit. You're like, oh god, what the fuck? Ow, Jesus.
No, well now that we're closer, do I know what these are?
Getting closer to them, you don't know exactly what they are. 1 second.
I wonder if this place had a history,
I
like a
mean,
bad one.
It almost looks as if like a war was fought here.
A robot war.
You don't know what that is. You can't say that.
Oh, a Metal Man war.
metal.
So from the
man.
look of it, as you get closer, they are just automatons. They're just these strange sort of. You've heard of them before, I would say, Bro. So you probably read something about people finding ways to create men out of simple material, using combinations of organic material like wood, vines and stuff, like inorganic like metals, like cast irons, and sort of crafting this not perfect but sturdy human replicant that functions like a person, just with a lack of human emotion. You're not quite your best guess. You would probably make a very educated guess that these themselves were probably created for battle. These were probably made to be soldiers, especially judging by just like the build of them. They're very sturdy, very broad-shouldered, larger automatons.
I think they lost whatever war. I'm just guessing. I don't know. None of us are from around here, so
Hang on, this reminds me of something. Can I make a history check?
Sure.
I mean, it's not gonna be good, but.
Think.
Oh shit! Brain blast.
Brain blast.
It's an 18, actually.
No,
At
nice.
18, you do remember hearing words in the streets in your childhood of the war. It sparks in your mind. You've heard about it recently. A very recently deceased friend described something to you while you were traveling about a war that happened in this area many, many years ago.
Oh yeah, that's right.
A war between the local natives and dwarves. And you recall hearing from time to time that these dwarves were also very knowledgeable when it came to engineering, and would sometimes create their own sort of mechanisms or fighting machines.
is that so, bro?
Yes, that's right.
Br'aad doesn't have to say all that out loud. That's just what he
Now
hears in his
does.
head.
He
He
does exactly
remembers
just like that.
in my voice.
Yeah.
Narwhal's voice.
Mountain, these were
His eyes, his pupil just dilate. He opens his mouth, and he doesn't move his mouth. He just opens it, and it just echoes out of his throat. He just stares blankly forward.
These were your people, I guess.
What?
Not like them, but like your people made them. I think. Dwarves?
What do you mean? Mountain's not a dwarf.
Not.
I don't have a people.
He's a giant.
What is going on?
I'm really confused.
Are you
What?
wait? So you giant or do you not have a people?
You're really small for a giant.
Didn't he tell
You
us
are
he
the
was raised
giants.
by giants?
Right, but okay.
Whoever you're with is, isn't it? I don't know how your childhood was like. But usually.
You know what, Taxi? I don't think standing here in a field of dead, fucking whatever these things are, talking about my childhood is the best way I could be spending my time. Have we seen enough? Can we go to the town now, please?
I agree. I'd like to get out of here personally. I don't like this.
It is giving me a little bit of the heebie-jeebies here.
Before we leave, do I notice anything interesting? Or anything that'll pique my interest?
Oh, actually, I have a good question too. Can we tell the race of the bones around?
Make a
Medicine?
I was about to say make a medicine check. Yeah.
Medicine check. That's a real good one.
Can I make one too? Because I was.
I'm gonna guess Elvin.
I got an 8, so I mean.
Yeah.
I got a 12.
12. Some of the bones seem to vary between two different races for sure. One's sturdier than the other, but it's hard to exactly tell. I'm gonna say Velrissa. Does
the elephant pique your interest?
Yes, the elephant kind of like strikes us like a small pose, kind of like leaning on one of his stumpy legs, kind of trying to show off.
Velrissa looks past the elephant, like her eyes wander and like completely ignore the elephant.
Make a religion check, Velrissa.
Ooh.
Jesus.
That's a 2.
Nice.
That's a 2. You
Plus
feel
1, 3.
You feel the presence of wandering spirits, but you can't seem to pass into a plane where you can speak to them, but you feel that they are here.
Anyways, fellas, I really think we should move on now. I don't much like graveyards.
Velrissa, do you want to hop up on here?
I look nervously.
Come on, it'll be it's a good experience.
Awesome.
You can see a lot from up here.
Can I
Come ride
hang back
too,
real quick
dog.
and go to that intact one and kind of search it real quick?
Make an investigation check.
All right.
I'll give riding it a try. I kind of like reach my hand up for you to
That's
like lift me onto it.
20, not natural.
20, not natural.
All right, Oog helps you up.
So you begin to search, try to find out. It's covered in scars and it's dented, bruised up. You try to look around to see if there's maybe any sort of like pockets or something that might contain something small in it. And you find a small hole that seems to be of sort of like a forceful stab in the back of its chassis. You reach in and you grab a hold of what feels dry and flaky, and as you grab a hold of it sort of snaps a little bit and breaks off in your hand.
Does it feel like bone?
It does not feel like bone, but it does feel it's dried, but it doesn't feel extremely hard.
How much would it take for me to like pry it open?
Well, whatever's in your hand, you can just pull out the hole that you currently have your arm in.
All right, yeah, then I'll just pull that out.
Because it broke off when you sort of like reached in to grab a hold. As you pull it out, it seems to be some sort of chunk of a dried sort of just decaying organ. Like a human organ.
Oh.
Human or humanoid?
Humanoid, not you can't tell the exact race, but it's a humanoid sort of organ that that was somehow inside of this creature, and it just seems to be dried and decayed with time.
Does it slightly resemble that fucking mecha thing I fought?
Oh, yeah.
No, it does not. The mecha thing you fought was not necessarily a automaton. It was more just a exosuit where there was still something piloting it. This didn't seem to have anything that piloted it. It seemed to have its own sentience.
Hey, Mountain, what you got there?
Nothing.
All right, well, we better get going.
Throw it down and walk back over.
All right.
Okay.
We'll start heading back to the
Let's-
road. Keep
Let's
going.
move back and get to fucking.
I'm gonna look for any signs that
Shea
point
Grove.
towards Shea Grove.
Oogie boogie. That's what we say when we take off on the elephant.
No.
That's what Br'aad says.
That's what I say now. Just me. I'll stop saying
So, you spend the rest of the day traveling, and you do in the distance begin to see the lights of a town as the sun is setting. The town seems fairly small, just set right here across the straight and narrow of the road. There doesn't seem to be anything special. There's no large buildings. There's nothing about the town, at least from the exterior, that you can see that screams something very unique or special. It seems to be a very small, mundane village. There's no farmland nearby, but there does seem to be a lot of carts that are parked around the sides of the road as you approach.
So this was the closest town to Laurenburg, right?
Yes.
Okay.
As you are heading up, The first thing that you encounter as you're walking sort of up the path, first of all, at this point, it's going to start getting very crowded. The elephant's going to have trouble moving through these streets. Once you enter the town. The actual roads inside the town are much narrow and smaller to go in between buildings than the actual road is.
Do we need to, like, stable him? I don't think you'd fit.
All right, everyone, we're going into this town, right?
Yes.
All right. Did you enjoy your run?
It was great. Is there somewhere I can leave a review?
Sorry, I was about to say, did you enjoy your ride, Velrissa, and I couldn't.
Yikes!
I couldn't
Guys, I'm gonna
get it
leave the
out.
podcast. I'm serious.
Big yikes.
Stop flirting with Wheatie.
Anyways,
Stop making our D&D podcast your fucking sexual outlet. God damn it.
it's not
Every
that I
episode
meant it
with
like
these
that or
two.
anything. Anyways, all right, everyone,
I slide down the
get
trunk.
off.
The trunk doesn't make that noise, but I do.
Yeah, some fucking Flintstone
I help
shit.
off.
I like lower myself down slowly.
Thanks for the ride, Ugoth. I'll see you in a week, I guess. And I'll pat him.
What?
And then
It leans its head down and closes its eyes as you rub against the top of its trunk.
Oh.
And then
And
it
then I'll-
fades and it
yeah.
shrinks down to the size of a 4-inch statue and falls in your palm of your hand.
Whoa.
Is that supposed to do that?
That's
Turns
what?
around. Hey, wait, where'd the elephant go?
Ugarth, no!
don't worry, he's here. And I hold up the statue.
Where?
No.
That's a statue. Taxi.
As you hold the statue, you hear off in the distance behind one of the carts, you just hear someone go, "By gods!"
You never seen a tube dog before?
As you look around, the area around here does seem mildly inhabited. Looking around the carts are people who are like leaning against them, talking to each other. Mostly, it seems to be males. A lot of them are wearing tailcoats with like a widely brimmed hat. That they almost seem to be matching outfits. They're not all exactly matching, but the clothes they wear are very similar. One of them is actually leaning against the wheel of one of the carts, and like sitting on the ground, with the hat tilted down over his eyes.
At the one that just yelled by gods. I'll look at him. Is there an inn nearby?
It's tavern right down the road there, first building on the left. Kind of hard to miss where the drunkards are emptying out over there.
Did you say tavern?
Thanks.
Oh no.
I walk to him too, and I'm like, is there also somewhere to get a haircut? Possibly.
I probably not this time. It's already hitting dark, but there's usually barbers in the tavern.
Alright.
Br'aad
Thank you.
slightly winces at the word barber.
While you guys are talking, I'm already like walking towards this tavern.
Yeah, I'll follow Mountain.
I just have one more question. Is there just a single brass brazier anywhere in this town?
The man he looks around, like he cocks his head and kind of eyes around, and then his friend next to him his head turns to look at you and goes, "What the fuck are you on about?"
It's like a big.
Ignore him.
It's like a
Just kidding.
sort of like a bowl, but it's like a big bowl like you put in like a corner. I think you light it. It's like a. Have a good night.
You
Oh,
could
wait.
ask the wizard. There's a wizard in town. That sounds like some magic shite. I don't know.
Oh, where's the wizard?
Well, I think he's one of you. He kind of wiggles his fingers around. Magic Jimbo, whatever the fuck. He's
Ah, yes, those magic Jimbo, whatever the fuck.
He points his finger across. He goes, "You head down the straight and narrow there, past the tavern. Very end of town. Be the eastern side. Aye.
Thank you. And what's your name, kind sir?
Arthas.
Arthas?
Arthas.
Arthas. Thank you.
You sound drunker than I am.
This is just me. Well,
So
have
this
a
is-
good night, Arthas.
This isn't the one that had like the hat over his face, like a suspicious man. Okay.
No, he's that guy is to your guys. He's on the right side of the path. So there's just a cart, just a horse-drawn cart pulled off the side, and he's literally sitting on the ground, leaned against the wheel with the hat over his eyes. He could be. He could possibly be asleep. It's hard to tell. It's especially with the darkness. It's dimmed light for you now.
Well, I won't bother.
Also, while I'm walking away, I say kapow and then make sparks fly out that say have a good night.
And he kind of just he waves his hand and goes, fucking magic shite. Kind of try to wave it away from himself, get it away like it's bugs or something.
I do it again, woo, and the colors are more subdued and it just says sorry.
Br'aad, you think maybe we can do that tomorrow?
Oh,
Yeah,
absolutely. I just wanted to, just ask around while we're here. But yeah, let's get a good night's sleep.
Say, where did Mountain go?
I have
You
no
think he went to the
idea where
tavern?
he could have possibly gone.
I think he heard the word tavern and disappeared.
Yeah, you're right. Never mind.
I'm not even quite sure why. He has alcohol right on him at all times, but guess he likes the environment.
I could really go for some food that isn't grapes.
Do you think he needs an intervention?
Do you think maybe we could go?
Do you think
to the
he'd
tavern?
accept an intervention, Br'aad?
No. Let's go to the tavern. Hey guys, you know those creases in your stomach when you sit down? Well, I'm about to do one of those. That's right. Mid-roll. Yuck. So it's finally the start of the second arc of the show, and honestly, I do feel like we've really finally found our footing. If you've been listening to the show since the first arc, thank you, because that means you've endured that fuckfest. And if you have any friends that you think would be interested in the show at all, send them towards this episode. I feel like it's a better place to start. And if this is your first time listening to the show, hey, that's all I got for you. If you haven't checked out the Arc 1 recap yet, it might help you get caught up with what in the world is going on here. Also, make sure to check us out on Twitter at JRWY Show. We got a lot of good stuff sometimes. And please rate us on iTunes if you're enjoying the show, because that really does help us out. Just like how recording this show is complete and total Discord, we actually have a Discord, and you can find that through our Twitter. It's a great place to talk about episodes, discussing, theories, just talking about life, and we have some really cool artists on there, actually, so it's worth checking out. You should. Now, if you're listening to the podcast and you have any questions, concerns, concerning questions, or questioning concerns, use the hashtag JRWY when you tweet about us, so that we're able to find that. Well, I hope this episode has been a blast so far. like a fireball in a field by an innocent village. And I don't know what's gonna happen next, but I guess we're just gonna have to see.
All right, so you guys walk into the tavern.
Did I see a sign that said what the tavern's name was?
No, there wouldn't be a sign. There'd not be a sign outside.
Damn, there's no sign. Well, I wouldn't be able to read it anyway, but
Damn.
Damn.
I can't read.
I can't read.
I never learned how to read.
I never learned how to read.
As you walk into the tavern, the first thing you guys notice is the people in here are pretty finely dressed, at least a lot of the people who seem to be travelers or people who are stopping by in. The majority of them being humans and halflings. Some of them are on top of tables dancing, drinking, being very merry. They seem to be sort of in celebration of something.
Would we all walk in at the same time?
Mountain would go in first for sure, but the rest probably would follow suit pretty quickly.
Mountain's already blasted.
He's claimed the
They're a lot
table and
faster
he's
than me.
blasted. He's just drinking. Let's go.
All right. Can you describe like what the tavern looks like? Maybe
As you
what
step
the name of
in,
it
you
is?
step in through a wide open double door. The doors are propped open. Looking around, there are just 4 long tables that go across the main open area. Behind that, there's a small stage with red curtains that are currently drawn back. On top of the stage, there are 2 halflings currently locking arms and dancing around while a female elf is playing a flute behind them. The way she plays it as well, it's very fast-paced, very giddy. The way her fingers move up and down quickly. It's very...
I'm feeling it.
It's a very you can tell, even not knowing how to play instruments, you can tell it's difficult the way she's almost masterfully hitting the correct notes in a very fast and very wacky pace. It's going up and down in mood and tempo.
I look at all this upbeat, happy stuff, and I just mumble under my breath. Fuck.
There is a single stairwell that goes up and then angles to the right, angling up further. Basically, just a stairway, then a platform, then a stairway up to the right that goes up to the second floor, right to the right side of the theater. Then to the very right side of the entire room here, next to the open area, there is the bar, a few stools around that, and then 2 doorways on either side of the bar that seem to go behind into the kitchen. That sort of just wrap around the actual bar, and there's currently a female. There's a female halfling that is behind the bar.
So wait, Mountain's
we all
the
come
only
in?
one there, right?
Yeah, I was at this point. Everybody else can walk in unless Mount One wanted to do something first.
Yeah.
But
I'm just gonna start walking towards the bar.
You start heading towards the bar. Everybody else, you walk in, you get the same feeling. A lot of brightly lit torches and a few chandeliers that hang. The area in here is very lightly lit, brightly lit with this very orangish hue of light. It's very merry in here. Lots of cheering, lots of laughter.
I'm gonna approach the bar as well and sit near Mountain.
All right.
I'm not gonna sit down. I'm just gonna like lean over.
Okay,
I'm
you-
sitting near you.
Just kind of like slam my elbow down on the bar and say,
Bottle of whiskey.
You said bottle of whiskey. The halfling looks over at you and she kind of nods, moves down into the bar, pulls it up, sits it down next to you. 1 second.
"How big is it?"
It's a full bottle, so it would probably be about in our measurements 40 ounces.
Okay.
She sits down and she goes, "That'll be 7 copper, Mountain."
What?
You want a mountain of copper for that drink?
I just
I-
kind of look at her for a second.
I kind of look up too.
Do I know you?
She goes, "Oh no," and then she looks over at you and goes, "And what for you, Sylnan?"
What? I'll just have an ale.
An ale, all right. And she pulls out a cup. She cleans it up with a small towel, puts it down, and starts pouring ale into it. She goes, "That's 2 copper for that."
Toss 2 copper over.
Br'aad casts disguise self to become
How much-
taxi, and then walks up.
What is the silver copper conversion rate?
10.
10. Yep.
10. All right. I just put down a silver piece and just like stare at her.
She picks it up
Trying
and, she gives you 3 copper back into your hand.
And I just kind of like put it in my pocket, not breaking eye contact.
She just gives you a very friendly smile. She has a sort of a bulbous, sort of like a whitish nose on the sides. Very chubby cheeks that are covered in freckles. The brownish red hair kind of curls off to the sides and falls over the ears and falls just above neck level. Kind of a shortish hair. Her smile
the
is very
hell are you?
friendly. Well, my name's Hera. It's quite friendly to meet you.
Well, seems like you've met me before. How did you know my name?
Oh, never in my life, but it's very nice to meet you, Mountain.
How do you know our names?
Oh, you live and you learn.
Can I do my 300 IQ play?
Can
Well-
I insight check Hera?
Sure, go ahead and make an insight check. So you're disguising yourself as Taxi?
Yes, and then walking up.
I was
Okay.
say, you might want to learn me or you're not going to live very long.
18.
Listen, taxi. Not taxi. Fucking Mountain. I don't think that's necessary.
Yes. Hey,
How does she know my name?
there's no calm. There's no need for hostility in here. Hey,
I
this is a
don't
friendly
understand.
area. We're here to enjoy, relax. Everybody here's had a long day. You want a drink? You want some food? You want some liveliness?
I'm taxi. I'm taxi.
As you approach, she squints at you a little bit, and she goes, "Oh no, you don't look like a broad."
What the fuck?
What did I get on my insight check? 'Cause I rolled
18. 18. She seems very friendly, very kind, happy mannered. You assume she is the innkeeper here. Looking at her closer, she said she seems smiling. You can see the wrinkles coming up from the bags of her eyes, and as she curls up for a smile, you judge she's probably decently into like middle age to even maybe a bit of old age. But when it comes to her demeanor, she seems mostly just warm and very happy, and she's just very polite with her serving.
Say, what's the deal with this town? Everybody seems very well dressed around here, and well, it's very lively for.
Oh, those are She goes over and she goes, oh, there's Wickinson over there. That's Theodore. Over there is Michelangelo. These are all actors. Everybody here. They're traveling actors coming for the theater. There's a big show happening in 3 days, and they're just coming in early to celebrate before the big shows.
Oh, Br'aad's
Is there clapping near the flute player?
Clapping? Like people
like
clapping
in tune
along?
with the beat?
Yes. People are.
Can
there are
Texie
people-
go over there and join that?
Yeah, sure.
All right, that's
I'm
what
gonna-
he's doing.
Grab the bottle of whiskey off the bar and just say, "Yeah, I can't be fucked with this right now."
Someone's had a rough day.
Good night. Mountain.
Walk over, find like the most empty spot in the bar.
There's not very many, but there is a corner of the closest long table where most of the seats seem empty there.
I'm gonna go sit at the end, right there.
Face the corner.
I'm not gonna face the corner.
I take Taxi's seat and sit at the bar.
She goes, pleasure to see you, Velrissa. What can I get for you?
I gesture towards my burnt hair and say, I think I need something to cool me off.
Cool you off. All right. You want a cider then?
I'll take water.
Water. All right. She pulls out a small mug and she goes, it's on the house. Don't worry. And she just pours some water into it and gives it to you.
Is it on the
Thank you very
house or is
much.
water just free? Clever girl. Br'aad is going to drop the illusion and just ask, like, how do you know everyone's names here? Is there some magic stuff going on?
She shrugs and kind of like purses her lips a little bit and just. It's a trait I've picked up, I suppose. I've always been good with people.
Me too, Lauren.
Hera.
That was my second guess. Could I actually do a cider here?
Sure. And she
some
pulls out
crabs.
the mug. She pours the cider and she goes, hey, that's just a copper for that. It's fine.
All right, I pass a copper, of course. So what is this? What is this show going on here in 3 days? You mentioned.
Well, there's a She goes, what was it? Which day? 3 days from now, yes. There's a large theater on the other side. The Crossing Hammers, they call it. And there's just every few moons they decide that they want to host a big festival. Traveling actors from all over Viecta come over and they play big roles in many different shows that they play for about a week, I'd say, about 10 days.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's a pretty interesting site. It's very interesting. They also have a few, not exactly plays or anything. Some people come in, they show off their special abilities, you know, acrobatics, magicians.
Guys, I want
That
to
sort of
sign
like.
up for the fucking circus. I say that's very very interesting. Is there like a sign up list anywhere in here?
Not in here. You'd have to actually go to the theater to see that. There's a man there. Oh, what was his name? Hold on. She actually pulls out a small like little notebook from her side pouch of her apron and starts flipping through it.
Sign me up without me knowing.
No, I dropped it. I'm not still taxi.
No, I mean, like, just do it.
Oh, okay.
He goes, oh yes, Thardo. Thardo's a very nice man. A bit on the scaly side, but he's pretty gentle. He's the patron, the owner and provider for all the money and the supplies for the shows. He's most likely probably still there in the theater today.
I see. Okay. Well, thank you so much
He-
again.
Oh, no problem, Br'aad. Now, is there anything else I can get you? Maybe something to eat? A room? You look tired.
Actually, yeah. Could I seems like I've ended up with most of the cash here. Could I get a room for all of us here? My group of 5.
He'll treat
Group
you
of
too.
He'll 6.
He'll sleep in a.
Yeah,
I mean, you guys can share rooms for sure.
Yeah, true.
Okay, then just 5 rooms for us, Clarissa.
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 Hera. She says as she pulls out a small tab and she starts writing down. She goes, all right, Br'aad, Velrissa. She looks over. She goes, taxi. As she looks over at him, looking at clapping. Mountain. Okay. And she leans over the bar and sees Hilltree sort of cowering underneath Sylnan and goes, Hilltree, interesting name. She goes, that will be, if you guys want to share rooms or get separate?
How many beds are there in each room?
We do have rooms that you can share a bed, or you can, if you want to pay a bit extra, there are rooms that have 2 beds in the room.
How about you do the books for us? What's the most, just the best way to get all of us into beds?
The cheapest way for that's going to be 11 gold.
11 gold.
I turned to Sylnan. Holy shit.
That's a lot of gold, bro.
That's a lot of gold.
Can we even afford that?
I mean, I can, but like,
That's 11.
I don't want to.
Is that the cheapest you can go?
Unless you guys want to share twin beds.
I mean,
Be a lot of cuddling that night.
Listen, just
Actually, here's the word cuddle.
Make it sound like that's all there was available. So what would it be for enough twin beds for us?
Well, are you sharing the beds?
yes.
Yes.
3 to a bed.
That would be 7 gold.
Okay, that's much more manageable here.
It's more manageable. I'd like to by the way, while this is happening, I'd like to take a look around the room and see if there's I don't know, anything interesting, namely on the walls.
Make a perception. Yeah, make a perception check.
That's a natural 20 right there.
Ooh, yeah. Sylnan, you kind of just very casually, as you're still speaking sideways to Br'aad, kind of glance your eyes around at the decoration and the people in the tavern. 1 second.
Can Taxi bust out his instrument and try playing along with the flute girl?
What's your instrument? Just
what's your
curious.
instrument?
The viol. So it's like a violin.
Yeah. Make a performance check.
Just saying, if it goes really bad,
Oh no.
he'll put it up. I got an 11.
Got an 11.
Mm-hmm.
You try to play along. Some of the crowd near kind of disperses to also keep their eyes on you as you try to play along. You kind of fall flat though, and end up giving up after probably about.
Oh,
I'd
he goes
say
back to
probably
clapping.
about 4 lines. You try to keep up, but it's next to impossible. Though how fast the way she switches tempos, it's so all over the place, but at the same time very organized, and it just flows very nicely. Back to
You're
Sylnan
good.
here.
You're good.
Yep.
Sylnan, you look around. There are a lot of like banners that fall off of pieces of the wooden walls. Most of them seem to just have either depictions of very common plays, theatrical designs. That there's some of the twin-shaped mask. There are some of valiant heroes holding swords up towards dragons. They seem to be mostly just very theatrical designs across the different colored flags. As you glance across the room after that, the first thing that catches your eye, you look through and you see all these very happy, giddy, some flamboyant, theatrical characters. A lot of them dancing around. The clothes they wear, as I said, are very regal, very frilly. Something you imagine somebody who's very pompous would wear. You see a few races that stick out. Just a dark elf over there. That's kind of bizarre. You notice a dark elf. As you pass through, you see a few dwarfs that are staying together as well, but they also are wearing the same outfits, so you guess they're part of the band somehow, part of the group. Moving through, looking for anything else very bizarre, most of it being humans, half-elves, halflings. The only thing that sticks out after that is in the very opposite corner, the long table closest to the wall opposite of the bar, in the back left corner, there sits a dragonborn. The scales of his actual figure are black with a very dark, sort of purplish accent underneath of them that sort of almost reflects off the scales underneath.
You also see Taxi enjoying himself.
You do see Taxi very much enjoying himself. This character, he's wearing a very simple sort of breastplate with a metal trimming that has a sort of like a hide-like material that covers the breast and the shoulders. Most of his armor is made out of that very sort of like, it's made almost to be warm with still like a metallic outlining. He has a large sort of two-handed greatsword also propped against his back, and he seems to just have his hands sort of folded over each other, looking down at his drink. He doesn't seem happy or very high-tempered. In fact, you look from him to the closest long table on the right side to Mountain, and you notice a very similar sort of mood between the both of them.
I look back towards Hara and I ask, hey, what's the deal with the guy in the corner over there? And
She goes, I think he says his name was Malphus? She peers over, she goes, yeah, Malphus.
Wait, before, how do you know our names but nobody else's?
Oh, I know his name. I had to look at him closer.
You said you think he said Malphus, not... You're a very weird person. I don't... Okay, whatever, continue on.
Anyway, she's still like, she's like looking over your shoulder towards him. He ordered a drink, didn't say much, seemed to be wary to get close to anybody, and found the most distance he could be. I didn't talk to him. He doesn't seem very friendly.
Huh.
Oh, I was just gonna say if I could do a check to see if this is a normal price to pay it in, because I don't remember.
Make a intelligence check.
This feels high. All right. Well, oh, that's not bad. 16.
As you look around the inn, this inn is very nice compared to the ones you've been in before, or ones you've at least rented rooms in before, I should say. This is very nice. It's well kept. The drink is very good, as from what you can tell. Everybody seems very happy, lighthearted. The show happening is very interesting, very intriguing. Place is well kept. Place is well kept, well cleaned. You assume, at least the inns you've slept in before were pretty shoddy compared to this one, so you're not quite sure if the price is upped because of, just for the sake of it, or if it's because it's actually a nicer place.
Okay. So for the nicest experience, it's 11 gold, right?
Yes. And people will be sharing queen beds, however, for that price.
Sylnan, can you spot me just 2 gold? I'm gonna cover it for everyone tonight. I feel like it would be a good way to pay it back.
I mean, yeah, I pull out my coin purse and I pull out 2 gold.
Hiltree's hand kind of smells around, and he puts 3 gold on the table in front of Sylnan.
Guys, thank you. Hiltree, what?
What?
Wait a second. Where did you... How did... You're rich.
Hiltree winks.
He just, one of his little white bony goblin fingers up, he goes, "Shh, it's a secret."
Oh... All right. And then I pass over. That's 5. So I'm gonna take a 6 gold hit. And so the nicest combination of rooms, queen beds for every 2 the math. I don't know. We're sleeping
Whatever the
here.
math was.
This one, 11 gold is what I have. Yes.
Yes. She goes, yeah, that is very thoughtful. I'm glad you went for the nicer option. This also includes breakfast in the morning as well with the payment.
Oh.
You are, as well, if you want, there is a bathhouse on the backside of the building that you'll be free to use in the morn as well.
Oh.
For staying with us.
Let's talk about
Tracy's
dick again.
It's always nice to get a nice cleaning after being on the road so long. And she looks around and goes, "You guys can kind of need it."
Taxi comes up to the bar. Sylnan, Br'aad, Bell. Let's drink.
I am drinking right now.
Listen, the cider's sweet.
No.
This is the second time Br'aad's ever had alcohol. He slams it.
Let's drink more. We have reason to celebrate.
More than that? I just drank a whole thing.
No,
Okay,
Br'aad.
has Velrissa ever drank?
That's a good question. Velrissa's very young, and she was raised by priests.
Yeah.
Maybe she partied hard.
Party hard on Dead Man Island.
She was a church girl who partied fucking crazy.
Dude, that's what I'm saying.
Fucking hard, bro.
Taxi doesn't know the bartender's name, but what if I just said it?
Taxi.
And she was like,
it's
"Oh, you know?"
Harold.
It's Harold.
Actually, you can't just guess her name like she can guess yours.
Yes, you
It's
can.
not-
Come on.
sadly not.
Taxi Squints. Ah, yes.
Your
All
name
right.
is Harold.
Michael.
All of us will have, your strongest drink, right now.
Br'aad looks nervous.
She goes, you want the strongest?
Absolutely.
Are you sure about that one?
Yes.
What he said.
Absolutely. It's fine. I can take it.
It was fine. I can shake it.
She there's a long shelf above her that has very large, just these sort of drinking vessels that sit upon the shelf. They seem very exotic. They're neatly ordained with like golden trimming, and they seem very fancy.
Whoa, wait. How much is that gonna cost?
Taxi slams down 2 gold.
Okay, didn't really have to make a show about it. It's 2 gold, but all right. Whoa, Mr. Moneybags over here. Everyone get a load of this guy. Got 2 gold.
She as she's putting the 2 gold down, as she's pulling out a step ladder to step up, she turns around, looks at the gold, and goes, "You're gonna need more than that."
What?
Are you sure about this, Taxi?
I'm absolutely sure.
If you want, okay, strongest you can get with 2 gold. How about that? She steps down, she picks up the 2 gold. She goes, "All right."
This is for all of us.
You
Unless
want
anyone
sh-
else wants to
I
add
s-
to the
You want shots? You want
pop.
mugs? You want in a bottle? What's?
mugs.
All right, and she sets a mug down.
Throws down 2 more gold.
This will be everybody except for Mountain as well.
I looked around. I don't see Mountain, right?
Mountain just he's sitting at the table just like by himself.
I thought he was upstairs. Yeah, I wave over at
whiskey is
Mountain.
half gone. I'm not gonna.
Larissa's unsure but throws down a gold.
Oh shit, dude, this is happening.
Mountain, come drink
What?
with us.
Mountain, you're gonna like this.
I'm drinking just fine over here.
No, drink with us, Mountain.
Leave him
Don't you
alone,
think you
Taxi.
could use something a little stronger? Unless you want me to fuck off, and then I will.
She goes, "All right, 3 gold." She puts it down. She grabs a bottle out from under. The bottle itself is very dark black in color. You almost can't see the liquid inside of it. She sets down mugs in front of all of you. And then as she actually shakes it before she uncorks it. As it does, you hear a sizzling coming from inside.
Do I smell it?
No.
like blood in the water.
Mountain just has a fucking like smell for it. He's like alcohol. Like you're in the middle of you're in the middle of a bar full of alcohol and you just smell a single one.
Yes.
No, you don't smell it, but
Fine. Then I stay where I'm at.
I mean if you want to join, you're welcome to. You're already waved over.
Wait, let him roll for it. Come on.
No.
It's up to him. Taxi
Let
doesn't
me
know
roll
what he
for
went through, so it's
smellception.
not like I'm gonna treat him different.
As she shakes it and you hear the sizzling come from outside, she uncorks it and a bit of almost like a smoky steam actually just coming out of the top of the bottleneck. She pours it into the mug side by side, filling it up about a little over halfway. And she goes, "Now if you're gonna drink this, you're gonna want to drink all of it."
What?
In one go.
One go.
One go.
Taxi grabs his mug.
Oh shit. Br'aad starts.
She actually then she pulls out a mug as well and she pours some for herself.
I
And then she
I
leans
grab-
over the counter and she holds it up for a toast.
Yeah.
All right.
Everybody got their mug.
Br'aad's getting loose. Then he grabs his mug. He's ready to go.
I grab my mug and
Larissa's just-
Mountain's mug. and I
Larissa's
go for
staring at the
cheers.
mug sitting on the table, or on the counter.
Just think of
Taxi
it.
holds his mug up.
Just think of it like spicy water.
He holds his mug up.
I hold it up.
I grab Mountain's and mine.
She didn't pour one for Mountain.
She didn't pour one for Mountain. I thought we got one for everybody, including Mountain.
Well, he said one for everyone, and she just accompanied it for everybody who's sitting here. She didn't
Makes
count
sense.
Mountain because
Gotcha.
he's sitting away.
All right. A toast to having Sylnan back, to surviving that awful place, and to the life of Ugoth.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers to that.
She clinks her glass with yours as well, and she goes, down the hatch.
Taxi downs that shit.
All right.
Down it.
Go straight
Sends
down.
it.
Velrissa?
Velrissa brings the glass up to her mouth and like touches her tongue to the liquid. How does she react?
We'll get back to you in a second.
Okay.
Everybody else who downed it, roll a Constitution saving throw.
Yo, I'm ready to get fucking poisoned.
Yo, I got a 15 plus 1, 16.
16,
I got a 15.
I got a 19.
19.
Oh, nice. Broad's handling his alcohol. He's
For
excited.
What was-
for
What-
some reason.
What was taxis? Taxis?
15.
15.
14 plus 1.
And then first we'll do Velrissa. As you look over and see all your friends downing it, you take your little tongue and you quickly dip it into the liquid really quick and pull it back out. It burns, and you actually it almost feels like your tongue is like sizzling, almost like very small like sprinkle-sized hot coals were dropped across your tongue.
Yo, pop rocks.
I start like coughing and trying to get the taste out of my mouth.
For the rest of you, as you down it all in one go, you feel this immediate, it feels almost like fire comes down your throat. It burns really bad, but almost in the best way possible. It goes down your throat right into your belly. You feel your entire body start to get this sensation of warming, and as it comes down, it starts to come back up.
Oh no.
Wait.
You all quickly look up into the air as you open your mouth, and little bits of fire, boom, out of your mouth, about like a small little poof of a forked fire that angles up, comes out of your guys' mouths, and you feel your entire body get this sort of this warmth, almost like this weird restoration in your body. Your body tingles, and you feel powerful. You feel strong. You feel enlightened. You get a D4 of inspiration. However, it only lasts until your next rest. So
Oh.
Gotcha.
kind of not helpful at this point, but it's still.
I feel powerful.
I'm gonna look over at Velrissa. Hey Vel, you gonna drink that?
Hera also burps out a bit of fire up into the air as well, and she smiles. She goes, oh, it's a good one, ain't it?
That it is.
You feel pretty damn
don't
tipsy.
think I want that in me.
Okay, I'm gonna take
I push the
Velrissa's and go
glass. I
over.
push the glass away.
I take Velrissa's and I head over to Mountain. Hey, I figured you want another drink. It's pretty good.
I hold up the almost empty bottle of whiskey. Yeah, this one's pretty much gone. And I take it from Sylnan.
Hey, Mountain,
Okay.
you doing okay? I mean, you're kind of a little distant
What do you mean?
right now.
I'm good, man.
I mean, if you're sure, we'll try.
I down the mug of whatever the hell that is.
Fire.
Constitution saving throw.
Fireball.
Broad, you should try and play you should try and play along with the music.
I'm also feeling strong. What do you say we go at it?
I didn't hear you over Broad's drunken rambles. What was that?
20. Not natural.
20. Same thing happens to you as you drink it. You feel the fire come down into your belly and then erupt back out. And as you open your mouth for a belch, fire erupts out and sort of like a forked angle upwards, like tilting out of your mouth. And you need a D4 of inspiration. And you feel, even for your standards of being a heavyweight, you feel pretty damn tipsy. Your entire body begins tingling and you feel a little lopsided.
What the fuck was that?
Fire.
I like it.
I slap Mountain's shoulder on the way to the stage because I assume Br'aad and I are going over to the music flute
Dude,
lady.
Fuck yeah, I'm going over to the music flute lady. I got my fucking haven't seen this bad boy in like 15 episodes. I whip out my goddamn kazoo.
Before we go into this. I mean, it has been 15 episodes, you're right. Someone's just gonna look over at Imagine and he's gonna say, listen, if you're sure you're alright, then I'm gonna head upstairs and retire for the night, I guess. And he's gonna just...
Yeah, I'm good. You go on ahead.
Where you going, Sylnan?
Sylnan!
He kind of just ignores them and goes upstairs.
I see Sylnan walking upstairs and I follow him.
All right. Br'aad, you were gonna say you're gonna pull out your kazooie boy.
It's out of tune. There we go. Let's roll performance
With disadvantage.
with disfuck.
But you also, you have the +4 though. You have the +4 as well.
Yo, I'm fucking using it.
Are there little halfling people dancing around?
Okay, wait.
There are halflings and humans and a couple half elves. Actually, there's a drow pretty close to you as well. Seemingly a male with a upturned nose, very fine, pointed, detailed features with silver lining hair that falls over the shoulders.
Okay, it was a pretty bad roll at first, but I got it up to a 17 with all that stuff.
All right, 17. You hop up on the stage very confidently while your body is still swaying back and forth, and you pull your kazoo, and you attempt to go in tune with the elf. She seems impressed with your playing, but even if you weren't drunk, you feel like you couldn't actually keep up with the song, so she actually switches it, and you guys begin to duet back and forth, the flute and then your makeshift flute.
Oh my gosh.
You both stand up and you begin actually like circling the stage, sort of like almost tap dancing with your curved shoes, as you switch feet back and forth, angling them, and then sort of dancing around in a half circle while playing back and forth.
Taxi goes up as someone who's already dancing.
You put your arm around the one of the halflings and the nearby drow. You begin dancing. You guys kind of like join in on like sort of like you guys like kicking your legs in unison, like back and forth, switching left to right to the beat of the song. I'm gonna say let's do a little bit of fast forwarding here, because I assume this is where everybody's kind of just gonna like enjoy their night, dancing, partying, except for Mountain, and then except for Velrissa and Sylnan, who've already headed upstairs.
So basically, Taxi and Br'aad, yes.
Just
Taxi and
Br'aad.
Br'aad have a good time. Everybody else.
Okay, so I'm gonna have both of you roll one more Constitution saving throw.
I'm ready for 5 levels of exhaustion. Oh shit.
Just Br'aad and Taxi.
3.
3?
10.
Okay. 10. You begin feeling a little bit whoopy, Br'aad, as you're like, oh, I need to stop. Like you've been shaking around, jumping around too much, and we begin kind of feeling like a little bit woozy. Is the correct word? Woozy.
I was like, what do you...
Whoopy?
What D&D word is this?
So like you begin like your body basically, even after you stop dancing around, you feel like your body is still moving violently back and forth, and you decide it's time for you to take a break.
Yeah.
And you begin to meander your way back up the stairs towards, you basically begin crawling your way up the stairs towards what you hope is your bedroom. Taxi. You continue dancing.
Yeah.
You basically try to dance the night away with your newly found friends, whom you don't know the name of. I'm gonna have you. Well, first of all, let's ask an interesting question here. Would drunk Taxi have sexual relations with a male? What? Serious question.
Fuck,
Serious question.
Dude, let's go.
Br'aad's out here missing out, dude.
Yeah, I'm actually kind of upset.
Should have rolled a 2.
Dude, the one time it makes sense.
Just yes or no. Do you think drunk Taxi would have sexual relations with a male?
Can I roll for it?
No. That will come. That will come. But I'm asking
Roll
you.
for
Do you
gay.
think? Do you think if Taxi, who if he still had like a slim bit of his mentality, do you think he would still have relations with a male if he was still somewhat conscious, like woke in the situation?
If he was woke, would he be gay?
Essentially, that's what I'm asking.
Oh my god, fucking what is it, Grizzly?
It's a simple
Yeah.
yes or no from that. You
Yeah.
think he would?
Yeah, he would.
Okay, so there's no need for rolls.
Yeah, no, I
So-
think if he was drunk, he probably would.
You dance. You get very close to your newly found drow friend. You guys begin to have a few more drinks and spend the night together. The rest of the party. Morning awakens. Br'aad, you wake up against a doorframe towards somebody's bedroom that was locked, and you couldn't find yours.
God damn it! I
But-
spent so much money on good fucking bedrooms.
But you're still long rested. Sylnan, Velrissa, mountain. You awaken into beds. The beds are very nice. The very thick wool and cotton of the blanket sort of envelops you underneath of it.
I was kind of hoping to just fall asleep at that little table I was at.
Oh, you could do that as well if you
I
really
would be
wanted to.
so goddamn upset. No, fuck.
So then just Sylnan and Velrissa, you guys actually slept in beds. Two people slept in beds this night.
I want to die.
The beds are extremely comfortable. And as you wake up, they're actually on a small circular table in the corner of the room. There now sits a small breakfast platter. There's an assortment of very finely cut cheeses, some breads, and small portions of meats, accompanied by a nice little apple cider jug as you both awaken.
I start eating, man. I haven't eaten
I
good
start
food
treating
in
myself
ages.
to breakfast and enjoying myself heavily.
There's a very nice view outside the window as well. As you look across, you can see some woods in the distance, followed by these nice plains that wind through the hills.
The room is very apple cider and look out that window.
The room is very neatly decorated. It's very nicely ordained. The green sheets with the golden trimming are very well accompanied with the curtains of the same design. The entire room has this very nice sort of what I'm looking for, feng shui. Very nice. Just everything matches, and it's a very regal, fancy looking area, and it makes you feel comfortable. You sit here in a very comfy padded chair, enjoy your food, look out the window for the view, and you feel great. You feel like you're on top of the world. Taxi. You awaken, and the first thing you feel is not only a pounding headache, but the feeling of what feels like shrubbery against your back. As your eyes adjust to the sunlight directly beating against your face, you wince. It hurts, but as your eyes fully adjust, you look around. You're laying in a garden.
Oh.
Looking around, there's some hedges. You're currently laying against one of the hedges. There's a nice little cobblestone path that winds around. This very, very ornate, these archways that are sort of winded with by this very, very finely kept vinery. Everything here seems very well trimmed, very well maintained. It's beautiful. There's a small fountain that depicts a swan in the center of it, made out of purely stone. It'd be so beautiful if your head didn't hurt so fucking bad.
Y'all fucked in a garden. That's really romantic, dude.
You rub you rub the temple of your head, and you kind of just look around. And as you look to your left, you see laying next to you, nude, the body of a male dark elf. And you look down and you realize you're nude too, and your clothes are strewn all over the garden. Whatever happened here did not take place in one area. There are clothes falling over the archways. There's some in the nearby shrubs, the hedges. There are some in the flower beds. Your clothes are just kind of thrown about everywhere, and so some of your equipment.
Dude.
Wait, do the windows in the bedrooms face the garden?
They do not.
Okay.
However, there is.
Bucks.
Bro, he
Taxi. Fucks, bro.
The garden seems slightly private. It's on the back side of the inn, and there seems to be nobody else around as you kind of look around, and the drow seems to still be passed out.
Oh God. Taxi looks for his pants.
They're over a tree branch. Bit of a climb.
That's the first thing I'm gonna go get.
Climb.
You scrounge around and begin finding all your clothes and your equipment and kind of get everything back together. You technically right now have a point of exhaustion, just so you know.
Is there any I'm gonna in the dirt next to the drow elf. Let's see. I'm gonna write something.
You drew across a little heart.
That's it. Yeah, that's it. I'm gonna draw a little heart in the garden, and then I'm gonna
Little kissy face.
I'm gonna start,
Little kiss emoji.
I'm gonna start looking for my way back to the fucking tavern.
The tavern's right next to you. You guys are behind the tavern. The garden is linked to the tavern.
All right, that's what I'm gonna do.
It's a
I'm
little
gonna head
private
back
garden.
into the tavern.
As you open the door, still very groggy, you're kind of like lumbering back and forth, your shoulders swaying. As you open the back door and walk in, it's empty and quiet in here. You see Mountain passed over one of the tables, asleep in in sort of like a fallen over mug and some what seems like leftover alcohol kind of like dried into his beard. What's left of it, at least. Looking around there, the only other person who's still around is Hera, and she's currently cleaning the tables. And as you open the door and she makes eye contact with you, she can't help but burst out into laughter.
What's so funny?
Oh, nothing. You're cleaning the garden, by the way. It's not gonna be me.
Oh,
Yuck.
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 food.
Sylnan would like to go downstairs and go to the bathhouse, by the way.
Yeah, that's
As
what I
you,
was gonna ask to do as well.
Velrissa and Sylnan, as you guys are sitting there finishing up not really a full breakfast, more like an appetizer as you awaken. You both hear a knock at your door simultaneously.
I open the door.
I answer? Yeah.
You're both greeted, different people, of course, both humanoids, wearing very nice, sort of like a black two-piece suit with a tailcoat, and they have a single towel draped over their arm. They give you a small bow, and they hand the towel out to you, and they go, "Yeah, your bath is ready."
Oh,
Much
right.
appreciated.
And I follow him towards wherever the bath would be.
All right, you begin following.
Do they pass me?
Well, not yet. They're still on the second floor.
Oh.
As you guys come together and you follow them, the two butlers or servants kind of turn their heads to you and go, "We hope you enjoyed your night, and we hope to see you again soon." And then as you hit the stairwell, they both stop, and they just put their arms out towards the stairs and bow once more as you walk downstairs. Downstairs, you guys meet up with... Well, first of all, you step over a drunken Br'aad still in a door frame.
I just look at him.
I look at
Guys,
Sylnan.
wait up.
I look at Sylnan. Wow, they must have had quite the night down here.
Yeah, do we see everybody like?
Well, you see Br'aad, and then you step down the
Hilltree?
stairs.
Where's Hilltree?
You don't know.
He's pretty good at wandering off. Good.
You guys step down the stairs, and you see Mountain passed over the table, kind of like head against one of the mugs, as I said, just fallen over, his arms laying limp across the span of the table, and then Taxi kind of flustered right now, looking at Hera.
Yeah, it looks like they did have quite the night.
What's Taxi wearing right now?
He has his clothes back on.
Okay, you put all of his clothes back on. I walk over to Taxi. Oh, good morning, Taxi. How'd you sleep?
Taxi puts his hand on Vel's shoulder. We gotta get out of here.
Well, hold on. What do you mean?
We need
should
to leave.
get out of here.
We need to run. We can't stay.
What even happened last night?
We can't stay in this town, Vel.
Can I at least take a bath first?
You guys are going to the baths?
Yes.
Yes.
Taxi looks over at Sylnan. Alright, you mind if I join you?
What happened to you last night?
I feel dirty.
I mean,
Right.
feel free, I guess.
At this point, the back door swings open, and a half-dressed dark elf also stumbles into the room.
Oh my god.
Oh boy, here we go.
He walks past. As he walks past you guys, Taxi, you feel a hand cup your right buttocks. And as he walks past, he gives you a small wink and sticks his tongue out a little bit. And he looks over to Hera, and he just goes, "Put that night on my tab again, lass. I'll be back tomorrow night."
Oh god.
What the fuck?
I'm gonna get to the bath right now. I'll think about this later. And I dart off to the bath.
He looks at everybody and he gives a small bow, and then he walks towards the front door. Still like he's like half-assed, like putting on his undershirt as he's walking.
Yeah, sounds like you had quite the night, Taxi. Anyway,
Br'aad just has eyes wide at Taxi, dude.
I'm gonna go to the bath now.
Velrissa's already bathing. She doesn't want any of this.
Alright, so Velrissa heads to
Taxi's
the
gonna
bathhouse.
follow Sylnan to the bathhouse.
Taxi and
I
Sylnan
also
bathhouse.
I'm gonna wake Mountain up and ask him if he wants to bathe.
Alright, you wake up Mountain. Or try to.
Try to.
What's up? What is it?
Hey, how'd
Hello?
you sleep down here?
I didn't.
At all?
Nope.
Well, that sucks. We had a room for you upstairs. It was really nice.
That's all right.
All right. Well, do you want to come with us and get cleaned up here?
Yeah, that should be good. I pull out my flask and I take a big long drink. You know,
Oops,
at least like
early.
at least like 30 seconds of drinking in silence, and then I just kind of put it down and just. All right, I'm good. Let's go.
Helper. Let's go.
Yeah, I guess I'm just awkwardly shuffling while he's just chugging. Yeah.
It's like
and
you're
we
like,
follow them.
oh.
All right, sure, man.
So you guys head to the bathhouse. Everybody sits down. You guys begin cleansing. As you walk in, actually, Velrissa being the first to walk in, Hilltree's already in there.
That's my boy.
Damn.
Started early.
You see Hilltree. There's a small, almost like a hot tub. It's like a little sauna. It's like a circular pool where the water sits probably about 3 feet up from the bottom of it. And Hilltree's just laying on his back, like floating around. And the big ass smile on his face, and he's completely naked.
God.
Hilltree he sits up in the water and goes, morning, Velrissa.
So this bathhouse isn't separate. It's just everyone.
Yes, I mean there are separate rooms if you would like to, but there is also an open public area of bathing as well.
Yeah, Hey, Hilltree, did you sleep out here in the hot tub?
What's wrong, Velrissa?
Well, at first I was wanting to sleep in the garden, but then
Oh my god.
I saw some things I didn't want to say, so I built in here.
Things. Taxi enters the bathhouse.
Velrissa darts to the private room.
Okay, I go over and group up with everyone else. Someone's unraveled the mystery. Someone knows.
Someone knows what?
The mystery of
Taxi takes all of his clothes
Taxi's
off and gets
dick.
into the bathroom
Oh.
and then sinks to
Holy
the
shit.
bottom.
He has a penis.
So everybody begins bathing. Some in private, some not. Sit down and begin telling yourself off, getting the dirt and the grime from the days of battle, the days of travel off. It feels nice. It feels really good to cleanse the body after so long. It's been quite a while since any of you have had a bath. It feels nice. It feels relaxing. As you do, some of you kind of just sit there and you reminisce on your nights prior. However, Br'aad, you begin to remember the dream you had last night. As you're sitting there bathing, you recall, you close your eyes and you almost relive the same exact dream as you close your eyes. You remember you feeling yourself laying in bed, and then a hand just coming over and just warmly touching your shoulder. Your eyes flutter awake, and you're in the orphanage again. That same familiar room you had with Sylnan, the side closet that they took you to because they didn't want you mingling with the other kids, the normal ones, as they put it. You're still in bed. You feel young. You feel like a child again. As your eyes you struggle to open them again and look around, you see your father sitting on your bedside, his hand over your shoulder. What you're used to seeing him for the first time. You're used to the very angry grimace or the face of a man who has violent intentions, but looking at him now in this dream state, you see nothing but a very calm solace of a smile.
Br'aad smiles back.
He gets up from the bed and he walks over and he looks out the open window. His mouth doesn't move, but you hear the voice of Brendan once again in the back of your mind. You've done good, my son. Your path has been open to many varieties. You have something ahead of you. Something I lost. His head turns, and once again, the mouth not moving, but the eyes still showing some sort of expression. I don't blame you. My life was lost many years ago. You simply saved me from that.
Why weren't you ever around?
I wasn't allowed to be. It's a long, long story. One that's quite tough for me to tell, but... And he looks to the left onto the other bed in the room, and you can actually see younger Sylnan lying there, still asleep. Your brother has quite the problem. You see, even though he's back, and I may not have looked it in the time, but I'm glad to see him breathing once more. There's something dark inside of him. Something far darker than what you've mingled with.
Is he going through a phase?
Oh, something like that. He actually pulls the blanket back. And you get a good look at Sylnan's arm. The glowing purple of it. It almost begins to creep off of his arm, and these sort of purple like shadows begin to creep along the bedside. As he does, these little shadowy figures actually begin to sit atop the bed frame and kick their legs back and forth, all staring down at Sylnan.
What?
Your brother's been corrupted. The thing inside him, what you've been referring to as a devil or a demon, is neither. This being is somewhat of a shadow creature. It's from a distant plane that is enveloped in darkness. A twisted, evil plane of existence. One far darker than even I could imagine. And trust me, I've walked through plenty miles of glass.
Guess I'll unpack that later. How do I get this off of him, out of him?
I am not sure, but one thing I can tell you is that it's corrupting him. It's changing him. And if something doesn't happen soon, Sylnan will be no more, and that being will rise again. It will turn him into nothing more than a vessel. I'm not sure how to help.
Does he know about this?
Know about what? The fact
This
it
whole
exists. It's
demon thing?
It's inside of him, and he knows very well. I assume, yes.
Okay.
You're his brother. You're his lifeline. He walks over to you, and he actually holds your hand in his. He goes, "Now tell me." And then reality around you begins to slowly warp, and now standing in front of you instead is Obnock Shy. The voice changes immediately with it as well, and he says, "How much does your blood really mean to you?"
Fuck, doing this shit again, motherfucker.
What the fuck, dude?
And then you see this is when you snapped awake, being stepped over in the hallway.
Oh, that's okay. I don't know how to retcon this action, but I want to straight up just like punch the air in front of me.
I mean, you probably did. You were drunk. They probably didn't take much notice.
Yeah. Fuck. That. When I'm in the bathhouse, I'm just gonna like scrub a little extra on like my tattoos there. Maybe they'll just come off.
They don't. You have this weird warm feeling inside of you though. Even remembering that dream and the hatred you felt at the end of it, you still felt some sort of solace, almost like that was your father and he was trying to reach back out to you. You still feel some sort of like consolence or some confidence within your soul that your father did love you or something like that.
Yeah. Br'aad's just gonna close his eyes and sort of, I mean, I don't want to say pray, because in his experience, all these higher beings are fucking dickheads. But just like almost pray to his dad, I guess. And just sort of like offer up some thoughts.
Like what?
Hey, Brent, Dad, maybe I'm
I'm magic, so maybe you can hear this. I don't know how it works, but if you can. I know you said you didn't blame me, but I'm sorry. You know, for killing you. I do think that, to me at least, and it sure seemed like it to Sylnan, you're kind of a shitty dad, but I think there was a lot more there that we're not going to realize, and I just want you to know that I know that. And that I hope that I hope that, in a way, we're making you the old you, not the spooky tried to kill us you. Proud. Word.
Word. After your very gracious thoughts, you get a minor flashback, and you see that warm smile once again that you had in your dream, and you feel that warmth, almost like you feel like a fatherly approval. It puts you at ease a little bit.
That's a first. All right, cool.
Taxi comes up from being underwater.
Taxi dead.
Taxi dead.
Okay, Taxi drowns and floats up to the top.
And I assume at this point, but it would be finishing up their bath. Unless there's anything anybody else wants to do during this wonderful bath scene.
A wonderful bath scene.
Wonderful.
I'm fine with what we've got here.
I mean, I want to float over to Sylnan and check out his arm, because I assume he's got everything off.
Yeah, no, I'm not wearing anything.
The arm is starting. Once you look at it, you realize it's a bit paler in color than the rest of his body, the rest of his skin tone. It's not something immediately noticeable unless you really pay close attention, but you see it, and you almost feel like there's almost like a purplish hue within his veins, but it's very, very minuscule.
I'm gonna sort of just be like, I'm floating around, and then brush up against it and see if anything happens, or if I feel anything.
You feel an arm.
Doesn't even bat an eye at this.
Very cool. No,
No,
dude, I'm just floating.
You don't really feel anything special about it. No, nothing different.
Hey, where'd Velrissa go?
I think she ran off to a private bath. I'm not sure why, but I mean,
We do that?
bathe privately? Yeah, I mean,
There are
It's-
private bathrooms as well.
I don't think I've ever heard of such a thing.
Oh no, you wouldn't have.
Big shocker there.
Oh, hey, Mountain.
Hey,
So, what's our plan?
I don't know. I mean,
what do you mean our plan?
there's
Well, for
nothing-
now,
What do you mean, our plan, Mountain?
hey, Taxi, what do you mean our plan, Mountain?
Wait a minute. What do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean? Our
Wait
plan.
a
Our plan.
minute.
Our plan.
I just assumed we were sticking together. And we
I
were...
mean, I
I mean,
did too.
I don't know.
honestly.
Normally by this point, anybody I run with is dead.
Well,
I'm not
joke's
really
on
sure
you,
what to do here.
fucker.
It's on you,
I'm
fucker.
still kicking.
We'll just stay with this, Mountain.
For what? Stay. What have we got left to do?
Wait, what was that, Hill Tree?
Wait a second. I mean,
Hilltree, sing it, buddy.
Mountain,
loud and
we've been through quite a lot together, man. I don't know. I mean, do you really have anything else going on? I'm sure we could find some work or something, make some coin.
We could kill more things like that mecha you fought.
I like the
Together.
sound of that. I do. What did you see?
What?
What did you see
Last night?
back in that place?
I saw the source of my magic. He's sort of some sort of eldritch being, I guess.
That just doesn't make any fucking sense.
Well, you don't make any. What did you see?
I don't know.
Is it?
Insight check.
Go for it. Make that fucking insight check.
Yo, I'm making that fucking insight check. That's a 15 minus 3. 12.
12.
Make a deception check then, Mountain.
But I am being honest. Like, I don't really understand what I saw.
Well, you said you don't know what you saw, but you do know
Okay.
what you saw. But I mean,
Okay.
technically,
That is gonna be a fat ol' 18. Because I have a
18.
-1 deception.
Checks out.
yeah, checks.
I get it. It happened pretty fast.
I
Well,
You don't understand. I saw dwarves. 2 of them.
like dwarf gods or something.
I think they were my parents. I don't know. But that doesn't make any sense. I've never seen them, never.
Did they say anything to you?
They gave me this badass sword.
I mean, sounds like good parents.
They said I was
Yeah.
I was on some kind of path or something that I needed. I don't know.
Listen, Mountain. Well, you've got that chance. Follow that path, 'cause
Why? Why should I follow any? I've lived
I'm just
130
saying-
years without them. Why would I listen to them now?
you might have a lot of those years left too, but there's some things you don't want to miss out on. And that not everyone gets to have.
Like
Bro, it's right.
weird garden sex?
No, I'm being vague. It's parents.
I mean, take it from the guys who literally just lost their father, who they hardly knew. I guess.
Yeah, but that guy was an asshole. You killed him.
Fuck.
Wasn't that the whole point? Isn't that what we were doing? Just
Yeah,
trying
but
to
I'm
kill
allowed to
him?
have mixed feelings about it. I'm saying you should see where that goes. Because you don't want to wake up in the middle of the night fucking 600 years from now. I sure don't know how dwarves work. And think,
Yeah, me either.
fuck.
Me either, kid.
At this part, I would assume everybody has now finished up their bath.
Oh yeah, we're squeaky fucking
Yes.
clean.
We're squeaky.
We've been talking for a while. We are squeaking.
You guys head out. You dry off. You redon your armor and your clothing. Put back on your equipment, your backpack and whatnot.
I'll go let Vel know we're leaving the bathhouse.
You see Vel naked. No.
I assume I'd knock and be like, Vel.
Are we getting ready to leave?
Yep.
All right. I put my clothes back on. Like I'm finish up and put my clothes back on, and like I kind of peek out of the door.
Taxi's standing there.
Peeking through the door, trying to get a look.
Get a little look.
Sexual deviant taxi the tabaxi.
What the
This
fuck?
man.
First you were a druggie, and now you're just like a.
I mean, he's still
Deviant.
a druggie. He's still got that weed.
It doesn't make me a druggie to have weed on me.
Well,
You're fucking stoner taxi.
I mean, there was one episode where you just randomly killed a bunch of civilians, then you go buy drugs, and now you're like, how are we the good guys here? How?
There was coked up taxi, then stoner taxi, and now we fucking ascended to
Drunk
like
taxi.
sexual god taxi.
I really don't think that we are the good guys here.
We're not. Taxis run here.
We cause destruction and chaos everywhere we go.
But
I just
goddamn, you
knocked
do
on
it
her
well.
door to let her know we were leaving, and this is what you guys are doing.
Jared, we literally don't though.
That's the point. That was a joke. Thank you for coming. Now, as Velrissa joins the party, you all put on your clothes, put on your equipment. You head back out. As you're walking out of the bathhouse, you actually see Hera standing there. As you all come out, she seems to be eyeing, looking for a certain person. And Mountain, as you step out, she approaches you.
Yes.
I forgot you got a message. This is from, well, one of the actors said he recognized you. And he wanted me to
Okay.
give you this. And she hands you a small pamphlet. That's what it feels like. Upon closer inspection, as you hold it out, it's actually a small scripture for a play. Across the front of the booklet, there is a ink drawing of a dwarf that looks very, very similar to you. On his knees, both of his arms spread to his left and right and chained to the nearby walls. He's looking down and he seems to be in some sort of agony or distress. And below the picture is just the title of the play that says, The Hunt for the Bastard Son.
Bro.
What the fuck is this?
Bro.
And that's where we're going to end the session.
Bro.